Well, I suppose marketing would include traditional offline marketing. So I suppose, yes. I mean, outdoor billboard, I mean, it's not my favorite type of marketing and I have no special interest in it, but there is still direct mail. There are billboards. There are all kinds of different, guerrilla marketing campaigns. Live events could be considered to be offline marketing. But it's absolutely true that the vast majority and the most effective tactics have moved into digital, which is where they're way more interesting, right? Corinne, like much more fun. That it's really important to quickly get to the little practical things that make a difference. There are so many of them that, I mean, if let's say we're talking about connecting with people over email. Email marketing, powerful channel, important. It's in the center of a lot of people's content programs. But what matters in email? It's little tactical things. It's very specific things. It's the sender name, the subject line, the pre-header text, the timing, the A/B test, the call to action to subscribe, the auto response emails that they receive after they subscribe. As you discuss these things, it always feels very tactical. So I agree very much. What is an email marketing strategy? Well, there's a strategy is a plan to reach a goal. So you've got a plan, you've got a goal, but almost all the conversation quickly moves to the specific little, the mechanics, the metrics, the tiny actions that we take that make a difference. And that is true not just in email, but in search, in social media, everywhere. So I agree. I frequently feel like I'm being extremely specific and tactical because those are the things that I think that people can take advantage of and apply right away and make a difference. From my point of view, content marketing is about using helpful, useful, sometimes entertaining pieces of content, articles, videos, podcasts, webinars, but mostly written articles, to meet a marketing goal, attract visitors, build trust, generate leads. SEO is a channel for promoting content, like email, social media, search optimization. These are ways that you can create visibility for a piece of content. So SEO is a subset of content marketing. You can do content marketing without doing any SEO, but all SEO is content marketing because what ranks? Content. You can't do SEO without doing content marketing, basically, unless you're one of those strange sort of technical SEOs that pay attention to, programming type things, which is not what most people need to know to learn about. So that's my view. We create, we promote, we measure. And one of the three main promotion channels is SEO. I was asked this question, a similar question recently. Can you do content marketing without SEO? And I said, technically, yes. You can drive traffic through email and social media. I know some marketers that pay no attention to SEO. A friend of mine, she's a big thought leader on LinkedIn and drives so much traffic from social media. She doesn't care about search. She doesn't pay attention to search. But the problem there is that you miss big opportunities. So if you, it's a classic question in content marketing is like, where is my audience? What are they doing? What information do they need? Name an audience that doesn't use search. All audiences do. 100% of people are going to search for something probably before, maybe sometimes before breakfast. Like we search so often, we search for all kinds of things. So to be a content marketer that pays no attention to search, I would call that a blind spot and a missed opportunity and a risk of letting your competitors have all the fun and win all the demand. If it's for the homepage, the About Us page, or a sales, like a service page on the website.
Okay.
Websites sort of have two kinds of pages. There's the content marketing stuff. That's like the mini version of Wikipedia. And that's YouTube. It's fine. It's good to use YouTube because you can increase views on these videos and they may trigger more visibility within YouTube. They can be more easily discovered in YouTube when you promoted them well on your website.
And in
so
search.
yeah. So for yeah, and in search, it's amazing. There's phrases I would never have a chance of ranking for, but when you search for that phrase, you see my face, like a big, it's like a TV, like big video player inside search results. So yes, that's content marketing videos, YouTube, conversion focused videos, Wistia or Vimeo. I'm not an affiliate of anybody, so
I know.
and I always recommend free tools if I know of them. I think it's very I think that every serious content marketer should be using a social media management and measurement tool. I'm using CoSchedule. A lot of people use Agorapulse, whichever one, I don't know, probably Hootsuite does this now. But it's a way to keep your best content in social rotation without you having to just go schedule posts once a week. It's going to save, it's just worth the time. It's worth the money. Yeah.
So
So
much.
after you've published for a few years, you have a strong body of work. You have content definitely worthy of being shared. Every time you share it, people get value. So if you, that's one where I would use a tool for social media scheduling, social media promotion, measurement, listening. I also think it's really hard to do SEO without either SEMrush, Ahrefs, or Moz. You can see far in advance your rankings start to fluctuate. You can research keywords and understand competition. I can't do SEO without Moz or SEMrush. So those are also worthwhile. I'm going to be very direct, and I'm going to say some things that are maybe not popular. But my view is that there's a big problem in SEO because people try to delegate it without really understanding what it is or what the actions would be. Ask yourself this question: is there anything in life where you would pay someone $5,000 a month without knowing what they're doing? No, there's nothing in your life where you don't know what they do with your $5,000. Like, you hire a carpenter, I don't know, an electrician, you know, anything that you, every service people buy, they pretty much know what the service provider is going to be doing. In SEO, people frequently, Karine, it's a big problem. The SEO buyer is the lowest information buyer in digital. They don't know what the service involves. They can't even tell. They just do it on faith. They don't want to listen. They don't want to learn. I think the clients are the problem, partly. Because the clients need to learn. Even if you wanted to outsource it, you should still learn SEO. Even if you want to outsource SEO, you should still learn some SEO so that you know what they're going to do. Some sites have an SEO problem because of low authority. They need an SEO that's going to do PR, outreach, guest posts, link building. Some sites have an SEO problem because they don't have any search-friendly content. They should do copywriting, relevance, keyword research, building out, you know, interconnected families of content. So if you don't know what the diagnosis is, how do you know what the prescription is? Maybe you hired the wrong company and you don't know. And then people who hire SEO companies, if they get results, they think they need to keep paying that SEO to keep ranking. That was never true. If you're buying SEO services right now, I've got an idea for you. Quit paying for it. Just pause it. Stop paying for SEO for 3 months and see what happens. I'll tell you what will happen. Nothing will happen. You will save $15,000. Go use it for video. Go use it for video and original research and other. No, I think it's a. So yes, you should. Everyone, I think it's a risky thing to outsource. I think it's a shady business. I think there's a lot of service providers that are not very ethical. It's been like this for a long time. In SEO, you can hire a bad SEO that hurts your brand, that hurts your rankings, that buys links that could get you penalized. It's like I don't want to sound scary about it, but it's definitely worth the time to spend, call it 4 hours. I don't know, not weeks, you know, maybe 10 hours. I recorded, I don't have an easy way to access this, but marketing profs asked me to create a class with everything I know about SEO. I've worked hard at it and spent a lot of time, and they used a professional videographer, and it's 7 hours of SEO content. It's everything I know. It's, I think, a $500 master class. I recommend that. I explain everything that I've learned in 20 years of SEO. And I think going through that, then you will be ready to do some of those things in-house. Maybe thought leadership, right? Like you can't outsource that.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe, you know what kind of SEO you need help from. Or you decide that SEO is going to be, later for you and you're going to focus on other things first. You can go, there's faster ways to get results. Maybe influencer marketing is faster. So anyway, yes, I agree. I don't think there's an easy way to learn it, but I think that it's a very difficult thing to outsource depending, because some of the things that get the best results from SEO, the SEO firm is never going to do for you. What attracts links? Original research. What kind of original research you should create? That depends on what your audience needs. Boy, that's an interesting idea. I think it would be helpful if they did. But I also think that Google sort of, I'm not sure how well Google understands SEO.
That's that's gonna be a great quote. Come on, that's
Do they
amazing.
really know? I'm not sure. If I wanted advice about SEO, I understand Google's principles, but I would not ask Google for advice about strategies or tactics. I mean, the principles are publish, answer people's questions,
Mm.
publish something people look for, make the best piece of content you can, make pages that load quickly and answer questions and use tags like schema, tag things, that's all good and important. But a lot of what really matters and what really works well, Google doesn't know, they don't need it, they never tried. The best people to teach you something are people that have tried many things. They have similar goals as you.
They have data.
They have data. They've failed many times, and then they finally succeeded. So work with teachers that have been on the path that you want to be on. Google is not on your path. They're a weird company. They're huge. They don't have any of the challenges that we have. So no, I think that what Google is very good at teaching is technical SEO, how the crawl works, things like, crawl budget and page speed. And these, there's lots of things that they can be helpful on, but that, Google has never researched a key phrase. Well, it's ironic because SEO is I defined SEO as a subset of content marketing.
Mm.
Search engines are one channel for the discovery of your content. There are other channels for content marketing, but it's actually not that surprising. I've done SEO since 2000, and I've only done content marketing since 2007.
Hmm.
So for a lot of digital marketers, and marketing programs, SEO is older. And in your day-to-day experience, it's like you're going to do 25 searches today, but you're not going to write 25 articles today or research 25. We are, as consumers, immersed in search. We are, and we consume content without even thinking about how it was produced or what its strategy was, or the workflow or the calendar behind it, or the goals or the metrics. So I feel like we are all sort of closer to search than we are to content marketing,
Mm-hmm.
or we seem to be. We feel like we are, even though really everything you've ever found through search was content. There's only one thing that ranks: content. It is, for many categories, more difficult than it used to be, because there are more sophisticated competitors in more niches and more categories.
Mm.
Also, the big technology companies are better at keeping their visitors than they used to be. Google used to send more traffic to websites than they do today. They send less traffic to websites all the time because they're answering the question right there in search results. So click-through rates from search keep declining. Click-through rates from social media keep declining. So in some ways, we used to say, don't build on rented land. Own your content, own your website, make that the destination for all of your visitors and where you do all of your kind of thought leadership, or all of your teaching, or all of your content, right? Where there's traffic, there's hope. But now it's becoming, some of the more successful content marketers are embracing the fact that you can get great results by building an audience on that platform. The audience will stay on that platform. It's hard to get people to move off that platform. So People who are very good at YouTube, they drive very little traffic, but lots of visibility. People that are very good at LinkedIn or Facebook, they drive very little traffic, but lots of visibility. So website traffic, I think, will continue to decline. And for content marketers that don't embrace off-site publishing, their visibility will decline. For those that do embrace off-site publishing, they may continue to win the conversation and create lots of visibility and stay top of mind above their competitors. But we have to, big tech, these are monopolies, and we sort of have to live in their world. And that sometimes means accepting that our audience will not visit our site, and that we need to be move part of our body of work onto into those places.
Also building our own brands, because that's always going to be a winner.
That's your safety net. Yeah, that's the ultimate answer, of course, is to try to be that memorable, that strong of a brand. And you can do that on those other platforms. I have someone asked me recently, I've started doing more on LinkedIn, and they said, "Oh, is that your main channel now?" I'm like, no, I don't think of it that way, but oh, that's how we're all finding you now. I'm like, okay, but it's still our brand. It's still it's the personal brand. It's the company brand. So yeah, branding and email marketing create safety and security in the long run that decouple us, our destinies, from big tech and monopolies. But it is breathtaking how much visibility you can create on the platforms themselves. I really think that history has proven that the brands and people that compete to be the most generous. I think of content marketing as a contest of generosity, and the people and brands that give away the most helpful, useful information are the ones that win the most visibility and demand. The people that try to hoard their information, of course, simply forfeit that potential visibility to everyone else. It makes life easier for us because there's less competition. There's lots of experts that think they can keep secrets. You mentioned Mark Schaefer. This was in Marketing Rebellion. His book, it's like the age of secrets is over. It's definitely over. So imagine the risk. Really think through if I'm coaching someone, and you and I have the same philosophy, so it's not you. But if I'm coaching someone who is not a content marketer and who's afraid for this reason, and they say, I don't want to publish this, what if my competitors read it? Like, guess what? It's already been published somewhere else. Go search for that. You're going to find really detailed answers on that same topic, probably. It's not the publishing that, so, if I'm afraid of publishing it because of competition, and he's afraid of publishing it for competition, you're going to go publish it and get tons of, we're just letting you win. So how do you become memorable? What is the risk of someone? You have to give all this advice away. Their information is free anyway. You can't, it's way too late to try to keep your secrets. And what is the risk? Is that person is going to go, so one of my best pieces of advice, it was not a normal piece of content. I wrote it specifically to improve sales, but it's an article that shows these are the 13 things that should be on everyone's service pages. That's it. Just use that. Don't hire me. Just go use that. But people don't go use that because they still need the help. All the information did was prove that you know how to do things. And since everybody is focused on their own challenges at the time, they don't have time to go do that thing anyway, usually. So there's several strange objections to content marketing. That one to me is, I hope people should really stop worrying about that. Another one I hear sometimes is, oh, look at my traffic. I have visitors in these countries where I don't do business. So what? Does that hurt you? Does that cost you money? Is that a problem? No, I only want to talk to people who might buy from me. Really? What? How do you limit the visibility of your, I don't know, it's strange. Over time, I think people begin to realize, sometimes through data, sometimes you can convince an executive just by showing what competitors are doing. Oh, you don't want to publish anything? Well, look at these competitors who do. Look at their traffic, use competitive analysis tools. Look at their traffic. Look at their rankings. Look at their followings. Look at the size of this email list. Look at the quality. Look at their webinars have got lots of people in them. We are losing. We're not even on the battlefield. So yeah, there's, a subsequent question is sometimes, how do you convince an executive who's afraid to share information? It's like, point at the competitors, or maybe just use data. Definitely. There's so if you ask yourself, how often do people buy from me? That's the selling interval. And how long does it take someone to decide to hire me? That's like the sales cycle. What like, so for us, you need we build websites. You need a website every 4 years. It takes you 2 months to decide who to hire. Why do I need a daily blog? Why do I even need a weekly blog? I went bi-weekly. That's all I do. I write one article every 2 weeks. Now, the article itself has to be something that is memorable, that exceeds their expectations, that is more easily consumed, more shareable, more visual, more easily scanned. It's better supported by data. I never believed, it never made sense to me that, this rule, why would it should vary by industry and by strategy and by audience, right? It would be so strange if every audience and every content strategy worked best with 3 articles a week. That'd be an amazing coincidence. So I write ones every 2 weeks. If you've done it for a while, you'll find other opportunities. For example, I mentioned you can use social media automation or scheduling. So yeah, I share one of my articles maybe 3 times a day, but that's scheduled through a tool, and that's sharing articles that were written years ago. On LinkedIn, I'm repurposing, just moving from my blog into LinkedIn, 1 article a week. So those are not original, that's syndicated content from before. We have this body of work. Do I need to write a new article? No, maybe I can just find something that needs to be updated, improve it, put it back in rotation as if it's new, send it as a new newsletter, put it back on top of the blog. So it is, if you create stuff that is really high value, you will get 10 times the benefit from it. The world is not waiting for another medium quality blog post. We do not need to be publishing so-so content. It has almost no value. And then beyond that, I think it's worth saying, the very first thing I thought of here from your first question was account-based marketing and writing for a specific audience. One of the cures for just publishing over and over and over again is to write content specifically for prospects that the sales team can use during sales. That is zero waste marketing. It is automatically valuable because it doesn't matter if page views don't matter anymore. Traffic doesn't matter anymore. Quantity doesn't matter. It's about quality. So another antidote for this marathon's already been run. I like the way you said that. Everyone's already at the finish line. Why am I starting this marathon now? Because you have a sales funnel. You have prospects. You need to show expertise right now to people that are considering you. Content can do that. Content, sales enablement content, relevant to everybody. And it makes traffic irrelevant. Account-based marketing, very powerful for filling the funnel. It makes traffic irrelevant. So there are still tactics that I would recommend to almost anybody. Let's say you're doing it, you want to do SEO, but your domain authority is 0. You're a brand new startup. Why would you even bother targeting a key phrase? You can't rank yet. No problem. Write something that will help people decide how to hire, make a buying decision. Write something for the sales funnel. Write something and email it to 3 or 4 or 5 specific people. Those are the people that you really need to impress today. So there are still tactics that make the top of funnel metrics irrelevant. Yeah, there are very few shortcuts, but one of them is to collaborate the way we are collaborating right now. So this is being recorded. Someone will watch it later. You and I are getting value today, right now. We are getting value, right? We are meeting each other. We're getting to know each other. We can keep in touch. We can build this relationship. We can collaborate. We can share expertise with each other's audiences, right? In other formats, in other places. So that is zero waste content that has immediate value. So the networking benefits that you can get from content marketing, rarely discussed, very powerful. In other words, organic influencer marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, search has paid and organic, social media has paid and organic. Influencer marketing also has paid and organic. Organic influencer marketing is also known as friendship. It's the best thing in life. And just collaborate with people and make things together and have fun. But influencer marketing is also a way to make your content visible to people, put it in front of people that have already, how do I say this? Influencers have already built the audience you want to reach. So influencer marketing is about borrowing that audience in a sensitive way. So if I like, there's an association, members of that association are in my target audience. If I can create content together with that association, my content is suddenly visible to all those people I want to connect with.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an example of influencer marketing, and it's a very powerful shortcut. To build a relationship to get accepted to Forbes or similar publication
Mm-hmm.
might take tens of hours. To write the article to get that they will
Another
approve
10.
could be another 10 plus hours.
Mm-hmm.
And how much brand visibility will that bring you? I don't know. It doesn't feel like it doesn't make sense to me. I don't think it's a great idea. If it was efficient, like if it was an article that you had just sort of adapted, that you had already made, and they asked you for it, like, okay, here you go. Yes, of course you can publish that. But I think that guest posting is a really long road to building authority and links. It's just I mean, I spend 6 or 8 hours on a typical article. That's for one link. And do follow links versus no follow links. I know that there's news about this. My suspicion is that no follow links have no value. I doubt they do. They're not supposed to. If they did, then
Why
spam
would
is coming
they?
back. Yeah, they're not.
No. Okay.
That's like selling spammers to go spam. Yeah, they're not supposed to. I don't want them to have that value. Right? It's good for the internet that there's a no follow link. Anyway, but having said that, there are lots of types of collaborations besides guest posts
Yeah.
that can lead to authority.
Mm.
There's lots of blogs besides the big media sites. Just ignore all those major sites and think first about the audience. Where do they spend time? Forbes is for everybody. That's not even that's nobody's target audience. No, just like social media searches, events. So earlier today I was part of a webinar, and I reconnected with Cameron Jenkins. She's great. Wow, she's smart. Just being present and listening and attending people's in getting involved with other people's content. Marketing influencers are sort of easier to find. If I was in a specific niche, I would probably start with just LinkedIn.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter, maybe. Is there a hashtag that your audience is involved with? Then look there. I like these questions because you didn't ask me about travel Instagram bloggers. Everyone thinks that influencer marketing is about
Instagram,
food and Instagram and fashion.
I know.
It's like, we're not talking about fashion on Instagram.
No.
We're talking about subject matter experts on specifics, industry specific. Yeah.
So true. So true. Exactly.
So I just search. I mean, so as an example, if I wanted to get, here's an influencer marketing idea. I've got a product that people buy at the holidays. Who writes the article? Who wrote the last article that ranked high for best gifts for dad last year? Where do they write it? Are they on social media? Can I connect with them? Can I become friends with them? Can I involve them in my content and then later build a relationship where it doesn't seem weird if I suggest that they include my product on their gift list? It's like Santa Claus. He's an influencer. My strategy is based on search optimized long form how-to content.
Mm-hmm.
That is where I've gotten the best results, and where that content sometimes attracts links even if it's not original research. That was always the middle. We've passed the next ring out for us is webinars and conference presentations.
Mm-hmm.
It's an opportunity that I've been lucky to have because I give lots of presentations at events, which is nice. Also, video versions of some of the most effective articles.
Mm-hmm.
So use that to build out a YouTube channel, especially during COVID. I got very active in YouTube. And then also original research, which is basically like a stronger version of the how-to article because it supports all kinds of other content on our site.
And it's backed up with real facts and number.
Original research, yes, it's not something, it's new information that did not appear on the internet before. This addresses your marathon problem. I really like that. It's like, I can't, that race is run. I need to run a slightly different race here. I'm going this way. I'm over here. So
I'm glad that you liked it.
yeah, because all that stuff is already written, right? What hasn't been written yet? Is there a missing statistic? So we did this several times. One of them was, how long does it take to write a blog post? Nobody had answered that. We surveyed 1,000 bloggers and created an answer. How long does an average website last? I hired a virtual assistant to go look at the Wayback Machine and find that number. It's 2 years and 7 months. I don't have a great answer. It depends on what opportunities they have. So people should first
you
look
trigger
around.
opportunity also sometimes.
Yeah. Well, yeah, there's you can create opportunities, but some people just have data lying around they've never used. They've
That's
never
true.
published.
That's true. They don't even think about it.
Yeah, there's all kinds of data inside companies. Just go inside out. Publish the all these statistics that you had inside. I mean, and a lot of this is just forethought and planning. So people sometimes send us RFPs to build websites. I have a bunch of those. Hey, I have like 100 old RFPs. Why don't I have a virtual assistant go analyze these and create statistics around, 65% of RFPs have nothing to do with the project. Their background about the company. That's not a real number, but I could find that real number now. I have enough of them collected. So just look at what you have. There's not a prescriptive standard answer, but a lot of people have enough information around them to produce credible statistics, new statistics. Well, there is, one of our advantages is that websites are almost universally needed. So a huge percentage of companies have a website, need a website, get value from having a website. The percentage, so even if half of them can do it themselves on Squarespace or outsource it to something else, that's still like 100 million websites that must be built. Even if, half of them, can do it, but only spend $5,000. Okay, that's fine. Our websites, our average website last year was around 75,000 or 80,000 US. These tend to be larger projects.
Okay.
They're complex. They have custom features. These companies might be rebranding. They want to connect it to their fancy software. They have high expectations. They already rank high. There's some risks for redesigning it. So they have they're an online business. Most of their business is online. So conversion and content and these things are critical. So there's enough demand for us to have a $6 million company with 40 people here in Chicago.
Okay.
I know 400-person companies here in Chicago that just build websites. There's so much need for this. But also, this may not be obvious, Karine, I'll share with you. I never really talk about this, but I'm not really a full-time marketer. I spend half my time doing sales for websites.
Okay.
I'm on projects all the time. I have to help our current clients. Helping my clients is more important than writing another blog post. I write articles early in the morning and on weekends. This is not my main job. I'm maybe half time. So it's, it's sufficient to feed the machine and create enough demand, enough traffic that converts at a high enough rate, enough links that supports our rankings for these important phrases. But it's really, I spend a lot of time just selling websites and supporting my clients.
But that's what makes you a good marketer. If it's not related to sales, how do you do good marketing?
Thank you. Point. Right. Yeah. I'm not isolated. I'm not in a silo.
But that's the point. That's all my point. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All my examples are from earlier today. Most of the things that I'm talking about are things that I have seen and worked on and solved or seen solved. And so, yeah, I think that's, I have friends who are professional speakers and they don't work with clients at all anymore. And I ask them, like, aren't you worried you're going to lose touch with the market?
Mm.
They say, no, there's still so much knowledge out there they can find it and teach it. They don't get, these businesses don't sell very much. They don't, I mean, they don't get purchased by investors. They don't get, investors are not interested in, you know, in putting money in and taking a stake. There are too many opportunities around here, probably. It's maybe just a factor of like what the opportunities are. The opportunities are, you can get incredible growth with these scalable models of MarTech, marketing technology, or FinTech, sales tech, all these other things. Service. So we have no debt and no investors. There were just two founders in the beginning, me and my friend Barrett, and we've grown to $6 million. Took 20 years. No investor wants to do that. We have 10 to 15% growth the last few years. Fantastic for us. We're very happy. The team's happy. Clients are happy, but it does not appeal. It's not interesting to an investor, at least over here.
Good for you, no?
It's fine. I mean, there's never going to be a big payday. What does happen sometimes is someone will decide to merge together a bunch of marketing agencies and give them a big brand and grow through acquisition and to, sell everything that client might need from one service instead of having things, go to different specialized agencies. So that you do sometimes see. There's one next door to me here, but that's also not that common. Those are French companies and Publicis, like they've rolled up all those agencies.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
but you have younger agencies today in the content marketing world specifically. I'm so surprised because they really raised a bunch of money.
Wow.
Honestly, to do what? Okay, no, it's not to do what, but to create more content, to advise more people in SEO, and but
Wow.
it's weird because
I'm in the wrong
living
country.
No, but I'm living in America for several years now, and it's true that I'm not used to see that because usually here it's really we invest in something that we can scale. But the good thing is in terms of Martech and things is that now there's so many that they all need a super smart content strategy to emerge also because there is too many. So that's other types of work for other agencies like yours, maybe.
Oh, I know a lot of animals with a Z. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like content marketing for SaaS.
Yeah.
Growing very fast. They create opportunities. All those SaaS, all those well-funded technology companies with software products and SaaS services, SaaS offers.
They did a great job in content strategy and user experience. They're amazing.
Yeah, I'm a fan. Ryan Law, he'd be a good guest for you. They're super smart.
Okay, thank you for that.
I saw a similar question once on a blog post many years ago. It's like, if you had $100, what would you do?
I'm sorry, I increased the budget a little bit.
The answers were very creative. No, I'm glad to have more. Thank you for the extra money. I'll need it. So an example of some things that have much higher value than others. If you can afford to, so I could spend this money in all kinds of ways. I'm really excited to have $15,000 right now.
Let's do this.
I have been, so this is new. I have never written about this. And I rarely talk about it. It's something I've only learned recently. To do account-based marketing using content to appeal to a very specific audience. So account-based marketing is when you define, these are the exact people I want to talk to. I'm going to create content that will definitely be interesting to them, maybe a piece of original research. And then I'm going to target them through some outreach and through some networking and through some LinkedIn ads. That kind of worked for me.
Okay.
Ads to support content. LinkedIn ads to support a webinar. At the webinar, we present research that we did about their industry. It was like $1,000 budget, and it attracted quite a few people that I would not have attracted otherwise. The call to action was very specific. The follow-up we did was very good. And we got a bunch of projects by doing this kind of account-based marketing. But we started with research. That's another place I would likely spend some budget. It's not a research about my audience. It's publishing research, publishing original research. Maybe you know that I love this very much.
I have questions about this, of course.
It works. It's really fun. So if you can produce a piece of original research, which might take a research partner, you might want to outsource part of this, especially if it's a survey. You need to contact a lot of people, and that can be time consuming. It's probably better to do that with money. There are services that do that, like SurveyMonkey has a tool called Audience. It might cost you like $5,000, but you can get hundreds of qualified people to take a survey that gives you data that is gold that you can use everywhere. Yeah, you can use it. It's brilliant content for social media. It translates beautifully into visuals. It's exactly what people need to link to, and attracts links from other websites, which of course is powerful for your future search rankings. So conducting and promoting original research is one of the most effective things I've ever learned. But to do it well, it's very time consuming. It might be worthwhile to spend some money to accelerate that process, especially if it's a survey. Another place I'll spend some of this money is on a video. Video production, there's basically two kinds of videos the way I think of it. There's content marketing videos, which we can just shoot ourselves and make in YouTube and add to, embed in a blog post.
Mm-hmm.
But for those visitors that do search for the money phrase and land on a service page, I want them to see something really nice. I'm not going to use YouTube for the player. I'm going to use Vimeo or Wisitia. And I want that to be, and I'm going to have this video for years. So even for very young brands, it often makes sense to try to find like a $5,000 budget or something to get some really nice why videos, or the story, the about us videos, maybe a recruiting video. We're about to shoot a recruiting video. We're going to spend, I think, $3,000 on that. That's not a lot. It's not a little. So those are some places. I think, LinkedIn ads to promote a really high value webinar, for example, to a specific audience, using a service to help promote or gather data for a high quality piece of research. And then also I think those conversion focused videos for your about page, your home page, your service pages, those are all worthy. Those are things that are probably worth the budget.